Hello, everybody. We are live, I believe. Ken, if you can give me the thumbs up in the private chat, that would be helpful. And I will also check to make sure that we are live in all of these wonderful places. As I go check out to make sure that we are live, and we are, the first post that comes up in my feed is from the Ed Sales Elevation Experience, which means the algorithm is working really, really well. So, Ken, can you give me the thumbs up that you think we are live in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn? You can put in the chat. You can come on screen. You're telling me we are good on Instagram Live. That's fantastic. How about Facebook, Ken? How about LinkedIn, Ken? We want to be live all around the world. You know why this thing is so important to me is because everybody knows my story. You know, I was in broadcast marketing. I'm sorry, I was in broadcast TV for many years, and I was in a small station. And when we went live, we had to run a long cord from the production studio to the front of the office where we were broadcasting from to make it look like we were going live somewhere. We were going live, but it wasn't through a live truck. Congratulations to Ken. He has finally figured out Restream. Beers are on Brent because we've got it done. Brent is El Presidente, the president of our mastermind group for the Ed Sales Elevation Experience. So way to go, Ken. The first post that pops up here for me is right here, baby. If you're logging in, you can see it, and it's a welcome. It's a welcome post that we have to everybody who is joining the Ed Sales Elevation Experience next week. This is kind of monumental for us because we have done one cohort for the Ed Sales Elevation Experience every quarter, every 3 months now, I should say. Is that every quarter? For the last year and a half, 2 years. And this is the first time that we now have to open a second cohort. So we've got 10 companies joining and starting the Ed Sales Elevation Experience on Tuesday. And we have 7 companies signed up for the Thursday Ed Sales Elevation Experience. And those companies will meet for 12 weeks straight, and they will all come out with lead generation machines on repeat, baby. And in the meantime, they will also join a network that is growing, a very strong network that is up to 97 companies who have been through the Ed Sales Elevation Experience. Really proud of that. And these folks support each other. We just had what we call our dolphin tank. You might say, what the heck is a dolphin tank? So I'll tell you how that started. We were in cohort number 1 of the Ed Sales Elevation Experience. And I have this real love-hate relationship with Shark Tank. And whenever I travel, I seem to be drawn to watching Shark Tank. And I'm always surprised when people turn the money down. And I was talking about that, going on this rant at one point, and said, wow, wouldn't it be nice if people were just nicer to each other when it came to these questions about growing their business and taking money and grants and stuff like that? And we said, well, yeah, let's do that. And somebody said, well, dolphins are nice to each other. So we created the dolphin tank, which is really exciting. And so today we had the dolphin tank. We meet the third Thursday of every month. And the members of our closed group, which is our mastermind, alumni mastermind group, come with their biggest challenge. And we all support each other. And today we talked about NSF grants. Today, we kind of talked about our website and how to make it a bit stronger. Today, we talked about pivots for different companies and how they're doing and winning contracts. And it went really well, as it always does. Interestingly enough, I said to Brent Newton, who's the president of our club here, I said to Brent, how are we going to take this damn thing to the next level? And Brent quickly shot back and said very easily, we got to meet in person. So we're going to do that, because when the president tells me to do something, I do it, except for root for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan. So we're going to plan an in-person Ed Sales Elevation Experience meetup in Washington, D.C. on the 21st and or 22nd of October, which will be piggybacking off of DC Startup Week. So hopefully you might be interested in going to DC Startup Week. And then hopefully you might be interested in grabbing a beer with us, spot TBD, but I've got a place in mind. And we can sit around and talk about being entrepreneurs in the education space, founders in the education space, and enjoy beers together. I can tell you the beer I'm going to have is the darkest beer possible, because truly we don't really have dark beer here in Mexico, at least where I am. Granted, we've got the greatest tequila and mezcal in the world, but we do not have dark beer. So I'm going for a Guinness, baby, or stronger. So this is a big week for us. We are in the middle of a launch, which if you have been following us, you probably know that very, very, very well. And the reason I say that is because you've been getting a lot of emails from us. That's everybody cheering for all of the emails that we have been sending. Although some people have said we send too many emails. Hold on. Why isn't this working? Hold on, guys. Technical difficulties. My booing is not working. Let's see if this works. Ken, music's not working. We'll have to troubleshoot that. But it was going to be a boo, because some people say that we are sending too many emails. And in fact, Ken and I would say we might be sending too many emails. But our coach, Tony, we have a phenomenal coach, Tony, says, you know what? Send as many as you need, because the people who are reading them are interested in joining the next cohort. And then the ones who aren't will unsubscribe. And that's perfectly fine too. Don't take it personally. Okay. Don't take it personally. And we don't. When people unsubscribe, we'd have to check the stats on this, but there's a good chance they'll be back. Because what we do, so you guys know, so I can defend myself here, is that we absolutely ramp up our social and our emails during a launch, before and after a masterclass, and then we tone that puppy down. You might have noticed, hopefully you noticed, we haven't had any new episodes of the Breaking the Grade. We'll get back to those. We haven't done that because all eyes and ears literally should be on our masterclass and joining the cohort. And so that's what we have been doing. There is still time to join our wonderful cohort. There's still time till the end of tonight to watch the replay of the masterclass. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to let everybody know that, but there is a replay. And Ken, maybe you can put in the chat to everybody, www.joshchernikoff.com/replay. I mean, we might as well have everybody watch it. We cooked up a new masterclass. So Ken, if you're willing to put that in there, I don't know who it goes to, but if you put it in the chat now, maybe people will get a chance to watch the replay. The replay is coming down tonight. I know our team will do that. So the people who were most interested in joining the master classes that we had last week, we had 3 master classes. They are, thank you, Ken. They are bootstrapping and being very careful with their money. Is that you? They are DIYing it when it comes to their lead generation system, and they're trying many, many things, hoping that they will stick, and we will circle back to that. They're going back to the drawing board with their offer and product development again and again, thinking that when they get it right, everything will click into place and they will be able to sell. And then they're doing everything they can to not sell, thinking about their website, going to conferences, trying to network, all the things that can keep you spinning your wheels, thinking you're headed towards a sale as opposed to selling. So when it comes to DIYing their lead gen and trying a lot of different things, hoping something will click, I took that wording right from our post today. What people are doing is what we call slow burn methods. So what that means is they are going to conferences, spending all this money to go to a conference, traveling there, preparing, sending all these messages to people, handing out business cards when they get there, and then they leave and hope that those business cards didn't end up in the trash, and then they've got to organize their own business cards that they took, and then they've got to go back, and then they've got to manage their business, run their business, grow their business while making sure they get ROI from the conference they just went to. It's never the conference's fault, by the way. It's never ASU GSV's fault. I blamed them before, but it wasn't their fault. It was my fault. I wasn't clear enough on my messaging that people were super interested in talking to me when I went to ASU GSV. I'm going to try again this year and next year, but I'm being very careful with my conferences right now. The other thing that people do, they say, oh, I'll spend $5 a day on Facebook ads. Well, guess what? $5 a day adds up. And it's not worth spending $5 a day or $1 a day when your messaging isn't right, when you don't know your ideal client, when you haven't built out your own credibility. It's not worth spending any money or time. One of my favorite ones. Somebody sent me an email, cold email, and they've got this amazing list of people in the education space. The list is 10,000 people, 10,000 principals. It only costs $1,000. So listen, all I have to do is buy it. All I have to do is send emails. And then if one of them works, it's worth it. Well, let me tell you why it's not worth it. First of all, that list you're probably buying, if you're not buying from a reputable source, and even sometimes the reputable sources are not reputable, is crap. It is sold and resold and sold and resold, and it's outdated. Second, the list is not clean, meaning those people have probably left their jobs. Third, if you send those people emails from your top level domain, the domain that you use day in and day out, you are going to damage your top level domain to a point that you may not be able to email your coworkers. And you're going to have to talk to my buddy Anthony, who lives in the UK, who is what he calls himself, an inbox wizard. He just helped Ernie from our cohort clean up his domain reputation. And even if you buy that list and that's a good list and you don't send it from your top level domain, if you haven't done the work on your messaging, while the emails might get to the people you want, they will not reply. Don't talk to me, please, about your open rates. I'm so tired of hearing about open rates. I want to hear about reply rates. I want to hear about people booking meetings with you. That's what we coach. So it comes down to messaging. Now, the education companies who are successful, the ones that have been through the ed sales elevation experience or figured out some of the keys without working with us, good system on lead gen, quality offer, two that come to mind very quickly. They're investing in themselves. Yes, obviously they are cautious with their money, but they know they'll generate more income by investing in lead generation and sales skills. Let me repeat that. They have figured out they will generate more income by investing in lead generation and sales skills. I get to work with a lot of super smart people. I've been to a lot of amazing schools. So they know that by investing in themselves at specifically the college level, it can pay off. So the ed sales elevation experience, obviously it's an investment. It's an investment in your time. It's an investment in your money. But the beautiful thing about it is that I will work with you until we get the lead generation engine right. That is my promise. I couldn't make guarantees in my first two businesses. I'll tell you why. In the tutoring business that I sold, families would come to me and they'd say, well, my kid has a D and I want them to get an A. Can you guarantee that? And I say, look, my tutor is going to spend 2 hours a week with your kid. I don't know what they do the rest of the time. So no, I can't guarantee that, but we will work our tails off. And then when I was in the after school enrichment, aftercares, summer camp business, we would do fundraising for our partners. It was kind of a revenue share. And they would say, can you guarantee that we're going to make X amount of money? And I would say, I can never guarantee you that. The reason is because I don't know how good a job you're going to do promoting. But in this business, in the ed sales elevation experience, I can guarantee it because I am not going to stop until you get this right, until you have leads on repeat that are high quality and high converting, and you're confident and clear in your business. The businesses that are succeeding in the education space, they're packaging and positioning their offers based on feedback they get from conversations with potential clients. Let me repeat that. The businesses that are successful in the education space, they're packaging and positioning their offers based on feedback they get from conversations with potential clients. Now, this is something I've been thinking about a lot. And I've been talking about with my coach, my colleague, my co-host on Breaking the Grade, John Gamba. It's so interesting how companies, especially in education, they get a little bit of traction. You get your first school, you get your second, you get your third, you get your fourth. But they don't end up truly listening to their potential clients about what they want in a business. They just basically deliver what they think their customers want. And really, if you just listen to what your customers want, you're going to build a business for them. And most likely what they want, other schools want. And the reason that I think a lot of companies avoid listening is because they don't want to hear the answers. Because they think they know what the answer is to what people need. And if they hear something different, they know they've got to go back to the drawing board. So they're kind of afraid of the objections and the rejections. And what we do, what we coach, what we preach inside of our ed sales elevation experience is run towards the objections and the rejections. I'll tell you a funny story. When I was in the CEO of Flex Academies, this was kind of pre-pandemic. I would walk into a principal's office and she would be there and we'd have this huge table and there would be a PTA. And the PTA might have, anywhere from 2 members of the PTA to 2,000 because they just loved to beat me up. Loved it. And I would sit down there, and this is the way I would start the meetings. I would say, look, I'm really excited to have a conversation with you. But before we go into this conversation, let me tell you two things. You must be wondering, who's going to pay for this? And what am I going to do to the wonderful providers that have helped you build this amazing after-school enrichment program? And I've got two very clear answers. One, as a PTA, you're not going to pay a dime. You're not going to pay a penny. That's because parents pay. Two, the providers. We are going to welcome them into our provider network of over 500 providers, assuming they meet the necessary insurance requirements. Were actually the insurance requirements were just the ones that were necessary to meet for that district or that county. If they do that, they're in. And then I would say, now can we talk? Because I've answered your two biggest questions, because I know that's their two biggest objections. Let's just get it out, right? And then the companies that are most successful, what do they do? Number three, they're focusing on building a lead generation that can keep bringing them new, highly qualified leads and high converting leads, because they know the power is in a repeatable, scalable system instead of just trying to tap their network. Let me repeat that. They're focusing on building a lead generation system that can keep bringing them new, highly qualified, high converting leads, because they know the power is in a repeatable, scalable system instead of just trying to tap their network. So this is a really interesting one. Many of the companies that we work with come to us having sold 0 to maybe 30 schools. And many of them have built their business based on their network. Maybe they are lucky enough to have people around them who can help them scale. But at some point, your network is it's not scalable. It will get you out the door, and that's important. Don't get me wrong. But you can't rely on your network forever. It's easy to get in front of 1 to 3 clients, but do you have a system that will get you to 20, 50, and 100? So tonight at midnight, Mountain Time, we're closing all these amazing deals we have that you could find there on joshchernikoff.com/replay if you go save my seat. And again, it's a really exciting time for us. I hope it's an exciting time for you, because this is the time of year I can remember where the companies in education who sold well and planned well are having phenomenal fall seasons. And I was lucky enough to have Michael Fay as my COO. I did the selling, Michael did the planning, and then we had a shit show of a fall every time. And I say that with only peace and love, because you can only plan so much, but then when you come back in the fall, it seems like everybody's forgotten everything they knew or they were told over the summer as to how your program was going to work. That's just natural. So the fall is going to be a shit show, but you do as much planning as you can, and then everything kind of smooths out, I feel like, in the middle of October. So I hope that the folks that I know in the education space are experiencing wonderful revenue this September, and their operations are getting more smooth. That's the way it should be. And I think that things are getting more smooth for us when it comes to doing these restreams. The more we do them, the better we're getting. Ken, again, way to go on getting the links right. That's amazing. I've got to figure out the music. Let's see if like the actual music works. Let's see. Ken, let's do what kind of music do we want? Chill hip hop. Let's see if this works. I don't know if the music is working because my sounds didn't work. So That's fine. There is a volume, I know. Oh, there. Hold on. Maybe it's just running slow. Who knows? I don't know. Well, there it is. Just been working with um, our daughter here, Camila, on what fail means. First attempt in learning. This happens to be our fourth time kind of working Restream, and I think we're getting it. Listen, I'm going to put a QR code up here. No, I'm not, because we don't have that one. I was looking for my LinkedIn. We should put a LinkedIn for that, for my LinkedIn, Ken. But all good there. So we're learning, and people are joining, and I can see that. So I appreciate. We do have the 3E one. You're right, 3E community. I appreciate everybody who joined. I really appreciate Ken getting this thing together. We're going to continue doing this every single Thursday. Really proud of the work that our team is doing. Ken, Tony, Tash, everybody. And we're going to start our cohorts next week. I couldn't be more excited. Let me give some shout outs here to Score Smart, Zara Music, Mediation Spark, Glory to Glory, Post Pigeon, Metamorphics, Lingo Circle, Teach Me TV, Lesson Loop, Safe Tech, Little Ivy Academy, Young Ninjas, Captain Kicks, Reading Simplified, Mark Miller, the consultant. I can't wait to have him. And Calmatic EdTech, Calmatic EdTech. Yeah, all those companies have trusted myself and my team to help them grow. And I could not be more honored. That's a lot of friggin' companies, Ken. Look how far we have come. Really exciting. So I'm going to get out of here 27 minutes in. And I've got some proposals to write, and I've got some more people to invite to the Ed Sales Elevation Experience. And you have 12 hours and 30-ish minutes to join our next cohort if you'd like to. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. We've got another one coming up in January. The beautiful thing is when you have high converting, high quality leads on repeat, you don't have to think that every sale is your last one. And that's a really beautiful place to be. I'm not there when it comes to golf. I think John Gamba is. John's a hell of a golfer. I want to get to that in my own golf game, like where you just hand me a club and I'll just swing and it'll be beautiful. That's kind of where we are on one part of our business here, certainly the cohort part. And I'm proud of that. It's been really hard work. So I'm assuming you guys are working hard. And since you are, I am more than happy to help as much as I can on your lead gen for your education company. I appreciate people who have joined here and put in the chat here and there. And I hope everybody has a great Thursday and a great weekend. We'll be back next week with Mr. Gamba. And if we were playing our drinking game, I would have to take 3 shots because every time you say Gamba, you have to take a shot. And next week, John and I will meet. And I'm hoping we're going to dive much deeper into the conversation we had, which was centered around demos in the education space. So stay tuned for that. Everybody, again, thank you for the support. Thank you for joining. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you very much.